Hi everyone, this is 5th grade Elevate. Today we are working on lesson 54 on adding whole numbers with regrouping. So the first part of this lesson touches on how to regroup. It lets you know that 10 ones translates into 110, and I like to think about this as dollar bills, although in today's society students don't typically carry around cash. Some students have that foundational understanding of how money works, right? So if you have 10 $1 bills, that is the same thing as you having one $10 bill, okay? And then if you have 10 $10 bills, that's the same thing as having a $100 bill, so on and so forth. So this first part is foundational understanding for students to identify how regrouping works or make sense of regrouping, right? And then while these use blocks to help us understand, here is what regrouping looks like in a place value chart. So again, if I have 10 ones, knowing that I can regroup groups of 10 at a time, then these 10 ones will be regrouped as 110. This lesson also touches on some common errors and misconceptions. Very, very important, digits must be aligned. You cannot add a digit that's in the ones place with a digit that's in the tens place, or a digit that's in the hundreds place. You must add up your ones with your ones, your tens with your tens, hundreds with your hundreds, and your thousands with your thousands, right? So from there, it's also important to know that you always want to start at your smallest place value. So we always want to start at the right. In this case, it's the ones place because we're only working with whole numbers. However, when we work with decimals, we might start at the tens place if the tens place is our smallest place value, or the hundreds or the thousands. So from there, you are going to take 5 minutes to model questions 1 and 2, paying particular attention to how to regroup using the standard algorithm, right? So for this example here, we have 5 ones plus 8 ones, giving us a total of 13 ones. Again, you cannot have more than 9 in a particular place value. This is more than 9. And so we have to regroup 10 of those ones as 110. So when we regroup 10 of those ones as 110, this is where we get this adding of the one that students typically do. So conceptually explain this to them of why we're carrying over the one. Students will say, oh, we got to carry over the one. But why, right? Because we regrouped it. After modeling those 2 questions, you are going to give students about 15 minutes to do some partner practice on the standard algorithm. For students who might struggle, you might want to give them the place value chart so they can draw place value discs to regroup. You might see that some students are fine to add, however, they are not aligning their digits, especially when it comes to these types of questions. What you can have them do is draw lines in between each of the digits so that they can keep track and add according to place value, or you can provide them with scratch paper. And then the final 5 minutes is going to be dedicated to some independent time for their exit ticket. You want to see, again, that students are lining up their digits by place value and showing the regrouping work that they have to do in order to get the question right. 4 questions, 4 points.